what we want in a gun. This is what I've carried for almost 20 years. Empty. So, number one, trigger reach. Your finger needs to be at least right under, should be under the trigger guard when it's down. So here's your resting position, right? And when you come in, it should just be able to just come in on it. And the back of your finger, the little fold in the back of your first bend, not your second, right? Come right over the trigger, and that's fitted. Now, if your finger's too short, right, you got none, so what are you going to do? You're going to pull the trigger and it's going to feel unstable. So you're going to reach and get more, and then when you come back to the position, you're going to be pulling right. And that's why I say on a target, if it's pulling right, it's always the trigger, because it only pulls that direction with the trigger. If your finger's too long, now you have the option to be right or wrong. Then stress affects that. So shit's hitting the fan and you're pulling it. You don't want to be grabbing a whole bunch of the damn trigger, because it's going to pull that way. You want to press back, straight back, so it doesn't move. The best way to do that is not to make a list of all the shit you have to correct with your weapon. Lists are very bad. They don't usually get fulfilled. Right? You got, okay, remember to drop my barrel and remember to place my finger correct. You can't remember all that shit. So buy a gun that fits your fucking hand. Starting with the trigger. Right? If it doesn't, there's other things you can do to adapt it. A back strap will put your long finger a little further back. There's other ways, but it needs to just boom, just be right there like a glass slipper fit. So that's the first thing we want to look at. Second thing, slide lock release. So everybody lock it back. Your objective in operating the features of your gun should be to never change it from this position, and you should be able to operate all the features without turning the gun over or changing your grip. Now, I can't reach my slide lock release, but I've carried this gun for almost 20 years, right? So you either have a way to adapt to it, find an extra aftermarket product, but for me, I want my left hand, right? Because I always want to stay here. This is keeping your hands up in a fight, right? I always want to be here. So when I drop my mag here, that's my grip, right? But I have that kind of gun that has a nice big window ledge for the slide lock release, right? I can get it no matter what. I can drop that. I don't like doing this. Number one, I don't like this ever being in this state. How many of you get gas when your car is pulled over on the side of the road totally empty? It's pretty dumb, right? Why the fuck would you set that as your goal for here? As soon as it locks back empty, can you tell what the status of my weapon is from here? It's locked back, is it not? So what would you assume I was empty? And if you were going to fuck me up, what moment would it be? So I don't ever want to be this, let alone changing my workspace and show you my shit. Hey, I'm empty, come fuck me up. It should be super easy. You shouldn't be straining for this part of it, right? Now, if you can't, then you have to either find a way to adapt like I do, right? Or then you're just dealing with being this kind of, well, keep it macro, as a lot of them will say, but this, I don't want to be here. That means I let it lock back, or I'm messing with it, and this is not in the fight. I'm not in the fight yet. But so if I'm in that mode, I want to be here all the time. Because at least I've got my gun pointed at him, and that's going to make him react, but this is going to make him attack. Gun's not pointed at him, that's his moment to attack you. So it's very important that you just constantly keep it on them. Now, mag release. How many of you can drop your mag from this position? Everyone? Oh, you long-fingered motherfuckers. Now, my handicap is actually better than your being able to reach your magazine. Because you want to be able to do it from here, right? But I also want to I just want my left hand to be dealing without pressure. I don't want to add pressure to myself, right? Because if I'm getting ready to go empty, right? Just going to get rid of that. I still got one in there, and then I reload. I don't want to have to deal with that hurry up reload. But I can't reach mine. But I'm ambidextrous on my mag release, so I use, but that enables me to stay right there and drop my mag. I still have one in there. I can put the other one in and then not have to fuck with my slide. Now that's the goal. If I have to fire that one round in my chamber, it's probably going to go in its face. About to go empty. I got one shot left. All right, make it count. All right. So the CZ, which is something I'm considering breaking up with my H&K after 20 years of marriage for a younger, sexier model. Get your right-handed mag release, right? I can't reach it on this either. A little closer, but still, you want to be right on it. But this is an ambidextrous one, so I'm back to where I started, and I fucking love it. So get your right-handed mag release and switch it to a left-handed, and then use it with your right finger. Trust me, this works a lot better from a tactical perspective, because all you need to do is maintain this. Your trigger finger's still there. You just move your finger over to drop that mag, but just keep that gun on your opponent as much as possible. I want to get back to fighting as soon as I can. So you have that one in the barrel, right? Boom. And that's your reload. You shouldn't have to do that. If you do, you do. But that shouldn't be your fucking goal. Next, after mag release, is your grip. You should have all three fingers on that gun, and your middle finger and your thumb should at least be touching, if not overlapping. By the way, smaller guns, bigger hands, harder to control. That's why it's important you have the right gun. Like the right shoe. You women, you're notorious for buying the wrong fucking shoes. You're like, I love how that shoe looks. And you will get a blister on your fucking foot, have to go see the goddamn doctor to remove the bunions, but you looked good in those shoes. Don't do that with your gun. This is where we live, brother. I'm saving you a lot of headache down the road, because you'll be sitting at the couch practicing your shit, and there'll be a hole in your TV. Or your family member. So, next part. It's extremely important. This is a deal breaker. Now, it is mostly common to Glocks because it's more pronounced. This is called a blind-sighted test. And how that works is you get your proper grip, which is this. You close your eyes, and then you present. And then you look, and you know what? If you see any of the slide, then the grip angle's too high for your natural point of aim. So your eyes will be right, but your gun will be wrong. It's like being fucking cross-eyed. It's important you know that, because when you have an adrenal response, you lose near field focus. There goes your fucking sights. So you want that gun to do what it should do without you making it do it. That means when you put your finger on the trigger, it's right because your finger is the right length for your trigger. And you can reach this and don't have to fight with that because it's in the right place. You can control it because you have three fingers and a firm grip on it. I don't give a shit if my gun is ugly either. I only care about that with girlfriends and shit. I want it to be able to fight well. Buy the right thing for the right reason. You need to be able to control that weapon. You need to make that gun your bitch. So take care of that shit up front.